Hello and welcome to a special dual episode here of Voluntary Living and Weekly Farm Report. We've got a good bit done here. I'll show you the greenhouse. We have finished that up, and I've got a little bit to go to set up the aquaponics, and I'll be hooking up my solar and getting that battery charged up this week. But one of the things that when we were looking at doing some sharing and actually being able to generate some money from the farm, we looked at doing food boxes similar to the boxes that you can subscribe to, where they send the entire meal in a box for you, all the ingredients for the meal. And I found out that there are quite a few regulations that if I even sending raw vegetables, no meat, just the vegetables, and with a recipe in a box, I would have to have a certified kitchen. And that's just one of the many hindrances we have as smaller farmers competing against the corporate farms is the legislative process. The other is the economic situation, and I've looked at some unique workarounds for that. And come on inside with me, and we'll talk about it. Okay, so not only are individual and small farmers disadvantaged by licensing and legislation, but the very form of our economy, the capitalistic form of our economy, provides a great disadvantage to the individual. The accumulation of wealth, capitalism, enables those who've accumulated the wealth to make those legislative decisions, to pay for those legislative decisions to be made, I should say, that do restrict competition. Not only that, the very accumulation of wealth drains money, which is nothing more than an energy a form of its energy. The law of entropy says that there's a leaking of energy, and so this money being stored, not only is the manipulation by the government a cause for inflation, but the money losing its value is as much a product of it being stored and held. And money is an energy, and it's meant to be used and utilized. So again, when we talk about what a voluntary society would look like and all these things, people ask me, often, how would you deal with X, Y, and Z? Well, there's a myriad number of ways to do that. And so it is with decentralizing our financial system. One of the, of course, we could always go to straight black market bartering. That's kind of cumbersome, and then you've got to dodge the gendarmes. But there are things like time banking. Time banking is a system where people will bank, so to speak, credits for service hours and be able to use those to purchase other service hours. Community exchange systems are similar to that. Let me pull this up, except that the community exchange systems are a little more in depth. In fact, the community exchange is really, really interesting. I'm trying to get in touch with our local guy. It's called the Agora Macon Exchange. I love that as an agorist, the Agora, the market. And what CES does is they provide tools, knowledge, opportunities for local exchanges to come up. And again, everything is localized, which is as a voluntarist, that decentralized, you are able to determine in your area what your needs are. There's not a one size fits all kind of situation for everyone. So this is adjustable. And that's what will happen out of a voluntary society. As the government is decentralized, you'll find areas where people will try straight up socialism, and they'll try straight up communism, and they'll try different forms of government and different forms of relating to one another. We don't need a one size fits all. In fact, I kind of see it as generally a melting pot of ways of dealing with it. And so when we're talking about a monetary system, of course, there's cryptocurrencies. And, they've proven kind of their volatility, but they've also really put a scare into the powers that be. And again, this, because we're eliminating the tax burden, and it's not a tax dodge, it's just eliminating our tax burden, which we have a fiduciary responsibility to pay as little in taxes as we can to our own selves. So the fiduciary responsibilities to ourselves, I should say. So, but what happens with this is that it undermines and plays the game, similar to what I've done with my taxes. It plays the game and utilizes government against itself, basically, because this system, while it takes away from the tax income, the tax pool that the government brings in, because it's a democratically across the board applied situation. A guy doesn't have to have a job, a house. He doesn't have to have all the normal things to participate in the economy. All he's got to do is be able to service. All he's got to be able to do is go out and help someone weed their garden and earn service points. It puts value in every individual. It's really exciting. So those are the CES. Now, some people have taken some of these kind of ideas and put them into actual projects. One is called the Venus Project. It's a nonprofit organization that recognizes the important connection between global resource management and problems such as war, climate change, poverty, and hunger. In the broader context, these are all detrimental results of the current socio-economic operating system. Exactly. It's a broken system. It's an old paradigm. It needs to change. Now, the technology is great because it's given us this opportunity. As I talk about with the permaculture farming, there's no reason that someone can't grow enough food to feed their family, even in a small apartment, given the advances we have in things like aquaponics and hydroponics and small space gardening and those things. There's just so much information and availability out there that we can do it. So what the Venus Project does is they are based on resource-based economy. So let's see. Our methodologies are designed to realize the full potential of science and technology to achieve social betterment for all living systems. And they advocate new ways of thinking. And again, this is the thing that's going on here, and I see it in the youth of today. My generation grew up with the idea of you work 40 hours a week for 40 years, and you retire with a pension and your watch, and you just go off and get a house in the lake and ski and everything, and run off into oblivion. No one knows who you are. But there's a new paradigm that values the individual, that values humanity far more than just as tax cattle. And so and this is kind of interesting. One of the projects that I'm personally getting involved in is the Grove. Stephanie Cimarusti, I hope I pronounced her name right. We met through MeWe, and she is putting together a community in California that's based on a lot of the principles that we've talked about, a lot of voluntarist principles. It's called the Grove. It does have ties into hedge magic, but also you should go to her page. It's the Mystic Grove blogspot.com. And see her vision there. It's kind of really neat, the vision that she has for it. And so these are alternatives that are springing up. The new paradigm is coming, whether we like it or not. There's a change. We can't keep doing things the way we've always done them. We're running out of resources. We're running out of. We're polluting our land. We're destroying families. We're devastating people. And now, with the economic impacts of COVID-19 and the lockdowns and all this, we're about to enter into a devastating time. And as I said in this morning's content, morning love content, this is the time of the tower, the time of the destruction of the old paradigm. And the old paradigm must come down for the new paradigm to come through. These aren't the only alternatives. These are just a few that I've dug up, and I'm shocked at how well and how much is in place. There's already people in voluntarist communities that do barter and exchange already. So these systems, as they come into place, it's exciting because we are evolving. And those who want to be curmudgeons and stick in the muds and who want to hold on to the old ways of doing things are going to be left behind, because it's a new time, a time of individual sovereignty, a time of individual respect for all people, a time of love. This is the age of Aquarius. This is the age of voluntarism. This is the age of magic.